right now, as we're speaking, get ready to do your homework because there will be in a very near future an opportunity to get involved. And this is where, people start building wealth happens during situations like this. Go back to what happened in the early 2000s. Look at the track record of those who, like your Grant Cardone's. He's a great example. He saw the writing on the wall. He realized that one unit is a good return, but it's not a great return
Right.
from a longevity perspective. Now, for short term, sure.
Right.
But if you're talking about moving forward, 10xing, 100xing, whatever the case may be, the more doors you have under one roof, the better your chances are for cash flow and being able to ride the storm for situations that's happening now and what's to come.
Welcome to the Nicholas Brown Podcast, a podcast talk show about real estate investing, business leadership, and personal development. Each week, we explore current real-life case studies about how to build financial independence through investing in real estate to build your personal portfolio through passive income models, along with interviews from the top business leaders and personal development leaders. Now, here's your host, Nicholas Brown.
Welcome to the show, everyone. We're going to continue our episode that we got going. I want to educate you guys because basically as we deal with motivation, teaching, and strategy. So I'm honored to have this guy here, Mr. Kenneth, come again where he tell you about storages, investing in storages also. But we're going to follow through. But before we follow through, make sure you guys download whatever podcast source you have on there, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, or whatever. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe so you get more information and get more alerts. So we're going to continue, welcome back to the show, Mr. Kenneth.
Oh, appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
All right. We're going to continue, ladies and gentlemen, because as I say before, time is money. And like I said, we're gelling. We want to make sure we meet our point, get this taken care of, and go to the next point. So we gave you a teaser, which Kenneth was telling us about, was so juicy, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get that previous episode. You'll see what I mean. He was talking about hybrid strategy, which before I begin, for those who are stubborn and want to listen to the first episode, tell them a little bit about yourself. Quick, you know what I mean? Tell a little about yourself. That's where it leads to the hybrid strategy.
Yeah, man. So, we're investment firm based out of Atlanta and now Orlando, Florida. So my team and I focus on self-storage acquisitions and now another asset class of RV campgrounds. So for us, we right now we have 94 units under management. We do our management in-house. It's a family-ran business. So my business partner, he's a managing partner and other co-founder. His wife is the COO for both the corporate side and the storage side, asset side, and she deals with the asset management. And then we have another friend of ours on the team. She handles investor relations.
Okay.
So my deal for my role within the organization is to do what we're doing now, get deal flow, and build those bridges, and that's just what we do here at H&K.
Okay. How long have you guys been established?
So we've been established since 2017. Prior to that, we were IT guys by trade. So I dealt with information technology on a telecommunications level. So anything from voice over IP to video over IP. We done work with the federal government as federal government contractors. My business partner served in the military as well, and I come from a military family. Yeah, and so we decided to. We had two other friends that we worked with AT&T with, and so we decided to move on to something else. And Kyrie, my business partner, and I decided to just jump into real estate. And I started off on the wholesale side and I did a rehab. Said that wasn't for me. He was a buy and hold guy, and he was like, you know what? Let's just go after commercial. And we tried to do multifamily. Wasn't our cup of tea. Got in self storage. This is where it's at. So,
and that's your niche. That's where you have your passion, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to get that point. So, as we said before, from the root of the tutor, he knows what he's doing and he's experienced on it. So this is his passion, and he has something which we're going to present it at the end, because like I said, I believe in building bridges, and you can do this if you structure it right. You can do this in any part of the world. He's a living example. What he's doing, how he's dealing with his storages, investing in storage and acquisitions. Am I correct? If you structure
Yes,
it
sir.
correctly, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's correct.
So as we started before, as we finish, I want to give him a tease on the word hybrid strategy, which, as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, his authority is he's a storage acquisition. He buys storages and fix them up to par, or he'll build them up to par. Am I correct? You build them also, which that's what your goal is now. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's the vision now. So,
Okay.
and this is why the hybrid strategy is kind of moving forward from a business plan standpoint. But yeah, we're getting into the development play now for storage.
Okay. So that leads to, as you say, your hybrid strategy. Could you tell them what's the hybrid
Yeah.
strategy method?
So the hybrid strategy method is a couple of things
Okay.
where you can buy existing assets and or develop, right? Where you
Okay.
can have two investor interests, one that are looking for turnkey, and then ones who are looking for the big X gains on the end,
Okay.
or where you take self storage and another asset class and bring them together as an investment opportunity, but you separate them from a legal entity standpoint. So that
Okay.
way, what you do, you give your investors diversity in investing, right? If it's, let's say an example, we've came across wanting to buy X amount of acres. So let's say if it's 50 acres, right?
Sure.
Out of 50 acres, we may take a certain portion of that, design it for climate control self storage, or we may do tractor trailer storage or something like that, right? And carve out that piece, and the remaining we could do another asset. It may be an RV campground, may it be tiny homes, whatever the case may be. It gives investors an opportunity to invest,
And
and this is where
cash
your
flow.
funds.
And cash
Correct,
flow
correct.
also. Right.
It's right. So it's a diversity strategy for cash flow for the most part, instead of locking all your funds into a single asset where you have an ability to take 100 grand, put in here, maybe 150 in here. And then, based on, the strategy overall and business plan and performer, you meet those goals as a sponsor and just start producing that liquid.
Okay. And as I said before, my listeners are either have their 401k where they want to leverage their 401k, or their retirement income, or
Mhm.
people that are new to investing, which we suggested on there. Why not go big and start with
Yeah.
your niche? They're interested in
Yeah.
this. That's why I was saying this is great, because as I always say, be active to become passive on there. So this is a start where people such as me and yourself will hold your hands and get you to that point, though. But am I
Mhm.
correct? But it's about
Yeah.
cash flow. It's about
Yeah.
bonding together and networking also.
Right, right. And what a lot of people don't understand is, once you get into a deal, you get the experience from acquisition, for holding period, and then disposition, right? Um, and then you can make the determination, like, man, you know what, this is good. Maybe I want to be an active investor. And if you're in constant communications with your operator, or deal sponsor, depending on where you are, you can actually ask to be on the co-GP side of your deal, of the deal, to where you can get the hands-on experience and go become an active investor. Or if you're saying, you know what, there's too much work, y'all had to go through with getting the PPMs together. You got to deal with the operation summaries, management summaries, and managing the books and all this other stuff. I just rather just be quiet, be a passive investor. And if I have questions, I'll ask. But at the end of the day, I just want my money to work for me while I'm doing other things.
One question,
So.
so they'll know, so we can educate them a little bit.
Mhm.
What's the PPM? I know what it is, private placement
Yeah.
random, but
So
tell
yeah.
the
So
listeners.
the PPM is a private placement memorandum document. So that document goes over the investment, the risks, the benefits, the risks,
The
the whole
worst
nine
case
hundred yards, right?
scenarios and all.
Worst
Yeah.
case scenario,
Hmm.
it goes over your equity contribution and your ownership of shares within the investment, the hold period, and just information about the property, how much equity was raised, purchase price, where it's financed, the whole nine yards. So it's literally the document that is the transparent document about what you're about to commit to.
Okay. Okay. Another question too. Do you have a requirement, a limited requirement for people such as to invest with people such as yourself? I want to educate them too, because people they have these are people that are new to the market, which my goal is a one source. I do client partnership or I do a done for you service or we partner, but I love people to be educated before we know. So that's why I'm asking you this
Yeah.
because of my type of
Yeah.
listenership.
Yeah.
And it's good to
Yeah. So,
good to know.
yeah. So the equity requirements to partner, it varies depending on the deal size. So
Sure.
if we're acquiring something, let's say if it's under a million, give or take, and depending if that investor wants to be the one person, look, I want to be the one guy that's receiving all the income, so I'll
Sure.
contribute the entire LP contribution. That's one thing. That's one scenario we've been involved with as well. But it's smaller deals sometimes, minimum investment. I think on that last deal we took a small investment of like 10,000 or something like that,
Sure.
and
Okay.
sometimes it could be even smaller. Just depends. But average you'll see 20, 25, 50, and 100K usually. It can be a lot less in self storage compared to multifamily, but again, it depends on the size of the deal and overall how much does the LP want to contribute their shares and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it
One
just
hole,
varies.
one hole, ladies and gentlemen, because you're listening and you're watching. This is the nuggets of it. This is the point I want you to get to because time is valuable. So you can replay this as many times you want because soon as something comes into play and he put it out in the market, if you ain't got your ducks in order, hey, I'll catch you next time. So I'm just getting you prepared. That's why I was saying that Kenneth, because it
Mm,
can be fast if something is ideal and it's
yeah,
very attractive on there. So
yeah, yeah.
so on yours
Well,
vary, which you got LP and GP and all that, but
hmm
still get your ducks in order. That's why I was asking that question: what is needed?
yeah.
What type
Now
of program?
I will say this though to
Sure,
entice your listeners as well. Depending on how much you want to be involved in the deal,
that's right.
what would get you higher level exposure if you come and say, you know what, this is a great deal. Cash on cash is, let's just throw it out there, 12%, right? But the IRR on this deal is just sick. And how much do you need? Let's just say we need $800,000 to get the deal from start to finish, right?
Sure,
If you have the half that, or if you have the entire amount you want to write, when that investor pays out that distribution and that equity split, imagine the equity split being
on your
60
portion.
40, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
think of it as a 60-40 split. Us as the GPs, we take the 40% because we put the deal together, we're managing the deal, we're making sure operations is moving smoothly, we're keeping everything in compliance, we're taking care of all reporting
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that we get you paid. But overall, with that 60% is all going back to that specific LP, right?
That's right.
And then
Right.
just imagine like when you sell, you get 60% of that equity of sale, not to mention your cash flows that you've been paid over the whole period, your original principal. And if you decide to get on GP, you get some of that as well.
Right.
So that's why, depending on who comes to the table, because again, we're always putting skin in the game as well, because we're deal
Right.
sponsors. We're utilizing our personal financials. Depend if it's over, if it's less than $2 million, equity contribution, because as deal sponsors, we're putting up a lot of the capital to get the deal vetted, to get the deal evaluated, get plans approved, any kind of environmental studies, like all that stuff, right? And then towards the equity contribution towards the debt as well. But there are LPs out there now that are saying, "Listen, I will write the entire check because I don't want to share." And
Right. Right. You just
we
want to be
got
hands off. Just want to be
yeah,
hands off. So
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
key. That's what my point
yep,
is. But ladies and gentlemen, this is just information only. Everything varies, so don't take this in
yep,
stone. We're just giving you the basics. You not take this in stone, and make sure you get a professional. I have to state that. I forgot that also.
yes,
So that's the purpose of you reaching out to me or Mr. Kenneth. We set up appointment because everyone's situation is not the same, and at that
right,
time, that situation what's available may change or improve or have to adjust. So it's very important you have be aware of that also. All right, you gotta be
Yep.
aware of that
Yep.
because time is moving. But that's good
Oh
too.
yeah.
One more thing too. Can you tell them what you have available now at the time of this playing and what you're looking for? What type of
Yeah.
investors are you in the market for?
So right now we are working on an opportunity in our backyard out in
Okay.
West Atlanta. This is going to be that hybrid strategy we talked about,
Okay.
where it's an RV campground and a climate controlled two-story self-storage development. So right now we're still finalizing everything. We got to meet with the city in the upcoming weeks, and
Sure.
once we finalize that and we get the feasibility studies and everything going, then we'll determine what we can be used. But as of right now, until we determine if it's going to be utilized for campground or just traditional storage, then it's a development opportunity.
Because the
So
land, what you have
because of the
available, the
land,
sections you have available
correct,
to section off.
correct,
That's
correct,
sweet. That's
right,
solid, man. That's
right.
solid.
Exactly. And so if it's self-storage with this facility, it's going to be a complete smart facility, right? And
Okay.
so part of our business plan is to incorporate technology as much as possible, from the units to the management to the security, the whole nine yards.
Sweet.
So
I
me and
love
uh
it.
me and Kyrie, because we are IT guys by
Yeah.
trade,
Yeah.
that's what we do.
Yeah.
So we're incorporating enterprise technology that we've deployed, sold, and implemented, in corporate America into our self-storage facilities. So
Man, I love that, man. I just gotta stop on that. Cause ladies and gentlemen, he's walking me. This is my mentor. He don't know that, but this is my mentor. He walked me through. This is like regular residential when I make the buys. There's a saying, you always make money on the buy. If that house is worth 1 million, you get it for 600,000. You just made 400 potential equity play on the buy.
yep,
Same structure, what he's doing here when he buy those
yep,
lots. You know what I'm saying? When he built that, he still built, he got so much play in. Am I correct? So you're
yeah,
walking into money. You make money because I'm pretty
yeah,
sure you guys are negotiating a win-win
yeah,
price right there,
yeah.
but
You,
you
you
still
have to.
got value in it when you get it, correct?
Exactly, because the thing is, like,
That's
you have to
sweet.
make sure if you're doing development, you make sure you buy the dirt cheap enough.
Yeah.
So that way, when you go and do your development costs, you offset the land purchase, but also with the land purchase, it has the equity you need to use as an
That's
upside.
attractive. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So, part of our strategies, I'm not going to get too much into detail,
No,
but
no, no.
that's part of,
Initially, yeah. So what you
we,
guys are holding right now, you have that. So
hmm
that's why I'm gonna
yeah.
let you go, man. You just hype me up where I want to continue because you got a deal on there. But that's why I like to get straight into it. You made
Yeah.
money on the buy, but you can hit it so type of ways from the rooter to the tutor. So I said
Yep.
before though, but
Yep.
you got
Yep.
value on that, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a long-term play also. If you don't,
hmm
if you miss out this time in this play, I'm pretty sure at that time he would extend or he have more because actually Kenneth and his partner in them, they're long term. But he's looking for
hmm
people who want to network and bond together to build value because when he come across these certain opportunities, he's come to his source, which is you guys,
Yep.
to be ready. You know what I mean? At the
Right.
time. If not, he will get with you at the time, but all situations are not the same. It's pretty much the same, have your ducks in all, but there's a will, there's a way. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and then we always say this too. I mean, sometimes development ain't for everybody, right?
Okay.
But this is the reason why we still will acquire existing turnkey properties, because then it gives those who are saying, well, I want to start in self storage, but I'm not sure if I want to take the risk in doing development. Well, okay. Well, guess what? We have an opportunity where here is a turnkey facility. Your cash on cash may be low, but at least your IRR is going to be strong on the exit. So, take that in consideration. Or if you want to do the, waiting game, because again, our goal for assets to hold them anywhere between 5 to 7 years. Sometimes we may even go longer than that. Just depends on which one which one is more profitable from that standpoint.
Sure.
But eventually, with us, the goal is to have over 10,000 units. So with the partners
Wow.
that we partner with,
Right.
we want to make sure that we're all in this together for the long haul, because as we acquire, we're going to send those deals exclusively to them
That's right.
first.
That's right. That's right.
Because
Right.
if we're already doing business together and you love how we operate and how we're managing the asset, you already have first dibs within that deal before we go to anybody else. And if it's something you want to co-GP on, again, that's an opportunity for you to get in and also help raise the equity to get the deal done as well.
That's where the time, talent, and treasure, ladies and gentlemen. Like you said, if you want to get your hands, roll up your sleeves. That's where the time and talent come in. Even though you have the treasure, you say you may, hey, can let me know what you need on my end, or I can know. Am I right? That's where you have more. So that's where it comes in. That time, talent, and treasures, you guys. We try to make it simple, but I want you guys to understand so you'll be ready to rock and roll, or you'll get out there and use your time to find some talent to help find a deal. But now you come back to us, we have the treasure. Boom, this is going to be that pyramid. You know what I mean? So it's going to work, but we're going to have fun and we're going to build. We're going to become financially free with that method. But anyhow, Kenneth, what they're going to do, they're going to hit my link. You're going to hit my link. It's going to set up a time. You may see updated videos of this we do before, and we're going to set up a time on the calendar. And whatever time is available, you'll reach either Mr. Kenneth and his team, or you'll reach me and my team. And we'll ask the basic questions, and we'll tailor whatever your goals is. We'll get that taken care of. So, am I correct?
Good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yep.
Now that's it. So, Mr. Kenneth, in time, I'd love to meet your partner. What's your partner's name again?
Kyrie Kemp.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you hear that? I'm gonna I set him a caliber for that. That's why I asked for that. I want to be this partner. I got to be this partner also.
Oh yeah.
But hey, I appreciate your time. Any last words?
No, hey, listen, I will say, right now, the way the market is, I will tell your listeners and those who are looking to invest, right now, as we're speaking, get ready to do your homework because there will be in a very near future an opportunity to get involved. And this is where, people start building wealth happens during situations like this. Go back to what happened in the early 2000s. Look at the track record of those who, like your Grant Cardone's. He's a great example. He was selling cars. He was doing all this other stuff. And then he bought his first multifamily property in the 2000s. And after 2005, 2006, and into that 2007, 2008 model, all of a sudden now, Grant has over 4 billion assets under management.
Wow.
Because he saw the writing on the wall. He realized that one unit is a good return, but it's not a great return from a longevity's perspective. Now, for short term, sure.
Right.
But if you're talking about moving forward, 10xing, 100xing, whatever the case may be, the more doors you have under one roof, the better your chances are for cash flow and being able to ride the storm for situations that's happening now and what's to come. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm gonna make a tease out of that. By the fact, 1 minute teaser. So I appreciate that, man. But I appreciate your time coming. Kenneth, we're gonna set up another time for you and your partner. I look forward to it. Also.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As I always end, don't condemn, don't complain, because you have a choice to make a change. Have a great day.